these survival shows, they have an
I think we'll have to mute, kada? Dear devotees, if you could please mute. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we'll enter into the Bhagavad Pravaha now. Where are we? Janmashtami in 2 days. So where is Bhagavad Pravaha? Where are we now? In Bhagavad Pravaha, we have heard the overview of Bhagavatam, and we have heard how Bhagavatam is Sakshat, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sakshat, a mix of English and Telugu, but Sakshat is Sanskrit too, so that's fine. And then how Srimad Bhagavatam, the summary of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah, we have heard that. And then first canto, second canto, third canto, fourth canto, fifth canto, sixth canto, seventh canto, eighth canto, ninth canto, 10th canto. We are in Ashraya Tattva, Lord Sri Krishna. We have heard about how the Lord appeared and the pastimes of the Lord, one after the other. Yeah. So last time, we have heard about the weeks are passing by. So the marriage of all the queens, and so we have heard about, I'll bring up the PowerPoint. I want to bring you exactly, how the Lord was spending his time with the queens, 16,108 queens in Dwaraka. That was the last topic we have heard last time. So we can continue from there. I'm going to share the PowerPoint with you all. So today we are going to hear this. We are going to hear about Rajasuya Yajna. That's what we are going to hear. So this is what we have heard last time. How Lord Krishna was spending his time, daily activities, and how he expanded himself in 16,108 palaces, like that. So today, Rajasuya Yajna, we will hear about that, the first topic. Actually, when the Lord travels to Indraprastha, there, So there, when the Lord travels to Indraprastha, there we will hear about the killing of Jarasandha and then the Rajasuya Yajna. After the killing of Jarasandha, in the Rajasuya Yajna, there is killing of Shishupala. Yeah. After that, killing of Shalva and Dantavakra. And the last topic would be about Sudama Vipra. We already heard about Sudama Vipra. How wonderful of a devotee this Brahmana was. So we will hear about Sudama Vipra. So these are the topics for today, dear devotees. And the first topic is the Lord travels to Indraprastha. So remember, Dwarakadisha is in Dwaraka. Right now he is in Dwaraka. So when the Lord is in Dwaraka, he received invitation from Pandavas to please come for Rajasuya Yajna. At the same time, he also received a request, a prayer, not even request. The kings were the captive kings of Jarasandha. They sent prayers to Lord Krishna to please come and save them. Yeah. So these two news came simultaneously to Dwarakadisha, Vasudeva Krishna. He's in Dwaraka. So Lord Krishna was thinking, what to do? Two events at the same time. And how to handle, how to manage, not exactly handle, but how to manage these situations. Yeah, whether to go to Indraprastha or go to Jarasandha and kill him and release all the kings under his captivity. So Lord Krishna was thinking like that. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead did not know what to do. He needed some help. He needed some help to decide how to manage these two events at a time. So he called Uddhava. Uddhava is the minister of the Lord in Dwaraka. We have heard about Uddhava, right? Brahaspati Srishya, Uddhava. So he calls Uddhava. Uddhava, see, this is my situation now. Yeah. Can you please advise me? What should I do now? I got an invitation from Pandavas there. And I also got this praise from the kings that are in captivity by Jarasandha. So Uddhava, could you please advise me? Supreme Personality of Godhead asking to Uddhava. But Uddhava very well knows that the Lord is Supreme Personality of Godhead. So then he said, "Oh Lord, what is it that you do not know? Since you are asking me, I would say this to you. The advice is, since the Rajasuya Yajna of Pandavas involves victory of all the kings on this earth planet, which includes victory over Jarasandha, you may please go to Indraprastha, to the Pandavas, and you may please take Bhima with you, since Bhima is very strong and Jarasandha cannot be killed with his army. He can be killed only with one-on-one fight. So if you take Bhima and go there as Brahmanas, disguised as Brahmanas, and ask Jarasandha to accept a fight with you, only then Jarasandha can be killed. So in this way, you will be helping the Pandavas having the Rajasuya Yajna by killing Jarasandha, and hence all the having victory over all the kings on the earth planet. And at the same time, all those kings that are in captivity of Jarasandha, they can be released also. Uddhava gives that suggestion, that advice to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, as if he does not know. But those were the pastimes. See, if the Lord just does on his own, what pastime will he have with Uddhava? He should have some pastimes, right? So he should ask like that. And he's asking. And Uddhava was aware of it. Familiarity breeds contempt. He did not fall for that. Uddhava did not fall for that. He did not just get puffed up that he was asked this and he's giving an intelligence advice to Lord Krishna. He did not think like that. So here for us, dear devotees, for us, we are sadhakas. Sometimes it happens that our Gurudevs, they ask us some advice, some suggestions. And if we feel like, oh yeah, I am getting to give this advice to my Gurudev, then we have to understand that it is not a very mature way of thinking. Yeah. And in that context, dear devotees, we want to understand this. Our relationship with the Guru Tattva. See, Uddhava was in such close contact with Krishna. He was using all the remnants of Krishna, the garlands of Krishna, the clothes of Krishna. And Krishna himself said that, Uddhava, there is no other devotee that is so dear to me here than you, Uddhava. So Lord Krishna was so close to Uddhava. So Uddhava could have just taken this as, familiarity thing and just be attached to Krishna just emotionally like this. Oh, Krishna is so close to me. I like that Krishna is close to me. So that is attachment to the Guru Tattva, just emotional attachment. Not that it is wrong. Not that it is wrong, but when we are emotionally, just simply emotionally attached to the Guru Tattva, what happens is, our relationship can be based only on the emotions. Emotions are based on the mind. And when the moods change, when our mind change, when the situations change, and when we perceive that the affection is not coming from Guru Tattva or Gurudeva, or when Gurudeva is not present physically here, and then we would just feel devastated that we are not getting that emotional emotional help and that emotional reciprocation like that. So it's not wrong to be attached to Guru Tattva based on the emotions, but if that is the only way that we are attached to Gurudev, then we are prone to changes. When we perceive that it is not coming from Gurudev, then there is a risk that we can become distant to the source of that mercy, which is Guru Tattva, Shri Guru, who actually gives us Krishna. So there are two components here. Gurudeva, there is emotional component and there is spiritual component. Through the spiritual channel is coming the Krishna, the Tattva Jnana and the Vani and everything. So this is Guru Vani, the spiritual element, spiritual aspect of Guru. And the other element is emotional aspect. If we depend only on the emotional aspect, because emotions are based on the mind, mind is very much liable to the changes, then can be fluctuations, and these emotions on Gurudev or Guru Tattva can throw off the bhakti, because Gurudev is actually the channel to give Krishna and Vani, right? Like that. So we have to be careful. Emotions are not wrong, but we can't be totally dependent only on the emotions, which are always changeable. The other one is the spiritual aspect. If we are looking at the Guru Tattva, Gurudeva, as Krishna Kripa Shri Murti, the mercy personification of the Lord, and giving us the shelter to in the Guru Parampara, giving us the Vani, giving us the Nama, then that is an eternal anchor. That does not change. That is the dependable anchor, not so much the emotional one. Emotional part is not so dependable because it is based on modes, can be affected by modes. But the spiritual aspect is dependable. And when we are depending on the spiritual aspect, even if our Gurudev is praising us or chastising us, looking at us, not looking at us, talking to us, not talking to us, before us, not before us, on the planet or not on the planet, the dependence is eternal, fixed. It's very safe and stable place to repose our attachment to the spiritual aspect of Gurudeva. My Gurudev cooks very yummy biryani. And my Gurudev talks to me about so many things, including business, politics, and we have a very friendly chat. That can be had with any other people also in the world. That emotional, friendly, etc. Again, not that it is wrong, but cannot be based just on that, because that is changeable. So depending on the spiritual aspect is very much safe and eternal. And the emotions that are generated while we depend on the spiritual aspect of Gurudeva, Shri Guru, they are transcendental emotions. And those transcendental emotions can anchor us in bhakti. Okay, so those are the aspects regarding our attachment to Guru Tattva, Gurudeva. So here Uddhava, he had a choice to be very familiar because he's so intimate to Krishna, but he chose not to take that route. He continues to be aware that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he honors him accordingly and then reciprocates accordingly. Yeah. So that is, so based on the advice of Uddhava, Lord Krishna starts his travels to Indraprastha with his queens, the primary queens. By the time there are so many sons and grandsons, all of them, they started to Indraprastha. Just before the travel, Lord Krishna sends a message to the captive kings of Jarasandha, saying that he is on his way to come kill Jarasandha and release them from his captivity. So he sends that messenger. And then proceeds towards Indraprastha to meet Pandavas. And once the Lord goes there with his queens and all his huge family now, and the horses and the elephants. So the Pandavas, they come running. They were so happy. Yudhishthira comes and the Pandavas, they follow and they welcome, they embrace Lord Krishna and welcome him. And then Draupadi also comes and she also welcomes all the queens and worships them and then gives them the gifts accordingly. So all that happens once Krishna is received in by the Pandavas in Indraprastha. So this reminds dear devotees, you know, Parikshit Maharaj in first canto, he was meditating on the mercy of the Lord. See, Lord Krishna, how much he thinks of Pandavas and cares for the Pandavas. So he was thinking, this was Parikshit Maharaj. Saratya Parshada Sevana Sakya Dautya Virasanugamanastavana Pranaman Snigdeshu Pandashu Jagat Pranatim Cha Vishnu Bhaktim Karoti Nupates Charanaravinde. So, Parikshit Maharaj in the first canto, he was hearing about how Lord Krishna was with his fathers and grandfathers like that. So, how much he loved Pandavas and how much he served. The Lord served the Pandavas. Saratya Parshada Sevana Sakya Dhautya. I mean, we hear Lord loves his devotees, right? Is there any limit of how he loves? And is there any way that he does not reciprocate? With Pandavas, how did he do? He was ready to be a Saratya. Saratya is a charioteer. Charioteer means they sit. And whoever is on the chariot, the king, they place their legs on the shoulder of charioteer. It means Arjuna placed his legs, his feet on the shoulders of Krishna during Kurukshetra war, because in the battlefield, it is so loud that the orders of the king cannot be heard by the charioteer because it's so loud. So they tap with their foot on one of the shoulders to indicate what direction the chariot needs to be taken. So Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was ready to sit as a charioteer, to be tapped by the feet of his devotee, Arjuna. And Parshada, just opposite to that is Parshada. Parshada is taking the worship. In Rajasuya Yajna, we will hear very soon how the Lord receives the worship from Pandavas. So he was ready to take the role of the charioteer and ready to take the Agra Puja from in the Rajasuya Yajna. Sevana, he was doing many services to Pandavas. Sakya, he was acting as a friend. Dautya, he acted as a messenger also for them to go to Duryodhana, to Kurusabha as a peace messenger. And Virasanugamana stavana pranaman. Virasa anugamana. See, when the Pandavas were there in doing their vanavasam, the forest, in the forest when they were there, Lord Krishna, he took the role of a watchman for them. While they were resting inside, sleeping inside the tents in the forest, he took the role of a watchman, held the sword in his hand, and then guarded them. This is Supreme Personality of Godhead for his devotees. And Stavana, he glorified the Pandavas. Pranaman, he actually bowed down to his devotees. Yudhishthira, because he's elder to Krishna, he bowed down. He didn't care. He didn't hesitate. He didn't hesitate to do any of these things, to reciprocate with devotees in any capacity. The Lord. So just thinking of this, Parikshit Maharaj, Snigdeshu Pandashu Jagat Pranatim cha Vishnur, and how malleable the Lord was to Pandavas. So Lord was adjusting to the Pandavas because Pandavas were so much in submission to the Lord. The Lord fell for the Pandavas for their love. And so the Lord was adjusting himself to the Pandavas. He was malleable. And who is this Lord that is doing all, who is so malleable to Pandavas and is not hesitant to serve them in any capacity? This is the very same Lord, Jagat Pranatim cha Vishnu. The very same Lord where the whole universe bows down and offers prayers to. The very same Lord is acting in all these ways, in serving in all these ways to the Pandavas. Just thinking this. Parikshit Maharaj, Bhaktim karoti nripatas charanara vinde. The Nripati, Parikshit Maharaj, with all bhakti in his heart for Lord Vasudeva, he was praying to the lotus feet, charanara vinde, of the Lord. So in this way, the Lord was very kind. He is very kind. The Lord was kind, and he came to Indraprastha. He stayed there for many months actually. So Pandavas received the Lord, and Draupadi received the queens, and then Yudhishthira Maharaj, he then says to Yudhishthira Maharaj, he then expresses his desire. He says, "Oh Lord, I want to conduct Rajasuya Yajna. And in that Yajna, I want to give you Agra Puja. So I want you to be worshipped as the foremost worshipable one. Because, oh my Lord, even the dust on your shoe is so potent. What to speak of the devotional service to you, my Lord? We know that you are not really partial to anyone. Ye yadhamam prapatyante tam sadaiva bhajameham. As somebody approaches and submits to you, you will reciprocate to them. You will give them accordingly. We know that, not that you are partial. But the glory of the devotional service is so great. We want the whole world to know about the glory of devotional service to you. So, Krishna, this is why I want to do Rajasuya Yajna and worship you there. What would you recommend? Please order. So that's what Yudhishthira Maharaj places his desire in front of Krishna. And Krishna says, of course, yes. Very good, no problem. You can go ahead. Doing Rajasuya Yajna is good for all the citizens also. Yes, you can go ahead, proceed. But for the Rajasuya Yajna, what it means is you will have to collect wealth from different directions. And it also means that you have to win over all the kings on this earth planet. Yeah, so you can send your army in different directions and then win over all the kings. get the wealth ready and we can do the Rajasuya Yajna. Upon that order, yes, everybody is sent. Yes, all the kings in different directions are conquered, but Jarasandha. So this news is given to Lord Krishna. Then Lord Krishna says, Yudhishthira, no worries. I will go. I will take Arjuna and Bhima. I will go to Jarasandha. And I will arrange for the killing of Jarasandha. You don't worry, Yudhishthira. He assures Yudhishthira, takes Bhima and Arjuna and goes to Jarasandha. So, in the disguise of Brahmanas. And again, as we heard before from Uddhava, Jarasandha is very much in favor of Brahmana culture. Very much favorable to Brahmanas. So, when the Brahmanas come and ask something in charity, those Kshatriyas that are in favor of Brahmanas and worship Brahmanas, they would not hesitate but say yes to anything they ask. Jarasandha was that kind of king. He was worshipping Brahmanas. So that's why all three of them went in disguise as Brahmanas. So Jarasandha can say yes to their request or to their, Brahmanas beg, right? Yeah. So to their begging that Jarasandha should give a hands-on fight with one of them. So that's what they do. Krishna goes to, takes Arjuna and Bhima and goes to Jarasandha and says, yeah, we are Brahmanas and can you offer a fight, hands-on fight with one of us. So Jarasandha, when he hears that from Krishna, he looks at three of them. Especially the Bhima, he looks at them and he identifies that he's not a Brahmana but a Kshatriya because there were marks on his shoulder that is caused by carrying the bows. In that way, he recognizes these are Kshatriyas in disguise. But nevertheless, he says, okay, you don't look like you are Brahmanas, but nevertheless, I will go ahead and give my word to you that I will give you whatever you ask, even if it means my life, because I worship Brahmanas. Since you are disguised as Brahmanas, I will go ahead and give you this word. And Jarasandha, those days, so he did say that. So then Krishna, all of them, they will come off the disguise and say, okay, now that you gave the word, we want to let you know, I am Krishna, your enemy. And this is Bhima and this is Arjuna. You can pick and choose whom you want to fight with. One-on-one, hands-on, the Gadha Yuddha. Then Jarasandha says, he looks at the Lord Krishna, he says, with you, Krishna? No, you are Ranachor. You were a coward. You escaped from the battlefield. I don't care. I will not fight with you. Arjuna, he doesn't seem to be strong enough. Bhima, yes, I think I'll fight with him. He is the same. I'll fight with him. He is. He looks like as strong as mine, so he's. I'll go ahead fight with him. Okay, Bhima, are you ready for your death? Again, the Kshatriya language that they speak, especially before they fight. So after all that talk, Jarasandha and Bhima, they go to the outskirts of the kingdom. And it is explained in Bhagavatam that the battle, battle fighting with the Gadha club was big. And when those clubs struck each other, it sounded like two thunderbolts came together and the sound was so big. So in this way, the fighting has happened in the outskirts, and then it was a long fight and nobody were winning. And then, of course, Vasudeva Krishna indicates to Bhima that Jarasandha cannot be killed just with Gada, but he needs to be torn into two parts longitudinally. split into two parts longitudinally, and then those parts to be thrown on the opposite sides so they don't get together and join again. So this was the indication Krishna gave to Bhima by taking a little branch, the twig of a branch, and tearing it into two halves and throwing those two halves in opposite directions. So Bhima does that to Jarasandha. He tears him apart, Jarasandha. So he stamps on one foot of Jarasandha. And he takes the other foot and then he tears him apart and throws the other half to the opposite side. So both the pieces don't get and joined again. And that's how the Jarasandha Vada is done by Bhima with the help of Krishna. So this was Jarasandha was born in two halves, and there was a demoness named Jara who put these two halves together, and that's how gave life to Jarasandha. So this secret was known to Uddhava, and that's why they had to plan this battle like this. So his death had to happen only in this way. So this is how Jarasandha was killed, and the kings in captivity of Jarasandha, as Krishna walked towards the prison where these captive kings were arrested, as he opened the door, dear devotees, these captive kings, this is a good, I would say, this is a good scene and really nice. As soon as Krishna opened the doors, the prison doors of the prison house, all those kings, I think 20,000 kings, 20,000 plus, all of them were in the jail. They as soon as they saw Krishna, they offered their dandavats. They fell onto the ground, offered pranams to the Lord, and their prayers, beautiful prayers, dear devotees. These kings, they said, "Oh Lord, we are not blaming Jarasandha that he arrested us. We are looking at this arrangement, this arrest as your mercy, oh Lord. So we can wake up to the fact that we were really intoxicated with the power and with the opulence. Just to wake us up and to bring us out of this intoxication, we want to see this arrangement of Jarasandha arresting us as your mercy, oh Lord. Now we don't have any other prayer, but only one thing. You may please do anything with us that can get us closer to the worship of your lotus feet." That was a beautiful prayer of these kings that were arrested by Jarasandha. Much more, these prayers are so much better than prayers of Indra, who was taking the throne in Indraloka. How beautiful are these prayers of these kings? They were kings. And how wonderful that they took this as arrangement of the Lord, merciful arrangement of the Lord to bring them out of the intoxication. And how wonderful is that they are asking only for this. They are saying, please do only that to us which can bring attachment to your lotus feet. Very clear. That was very wonderful. And Lord was very pleased. He says, okay, yeah, your prayers are, they are approved. Okay. And yeah, this is what we were discussing. Yeah. So Krishna assures that their desires are fulfilled when the kings have asked for that desire. That was only one desire, and Krishna, one wonderful desire, the only desire that one should have for their own good. Yeah. And Krishna says, okay, I'm assuring you that your desire will be fulfilled. And here, dear devotees, the Lord instructs these kings. There are 3 instructions given. I thought these are very nice. So first the Lord says, see, when there is power, then there is no self-restraint, because there is intoxication with opulence. Okay. So when somebody has power, then they are intoxicated and they don't have self-restraint. Okay. The Lord stated the fact. And he said, "O kings, all of you, now please do this. Treat, rule your citizens in accordance to the Vedic injunctions." That's one. Second thing is, be fixed in your vows. Third thing is, concentrate your mind on me. This is the most important one, right? Concentrate your mind on me. These 3 things, dear devotees, Lord Krishna has instructed kings to be like this. And then assured that, yes, when you do like this, you will come to me at the end of your lives. The Lord instructs these 3 to the kings. And for us also, dear devotees, this is very much relevant to us also. The power giving us intoxication. Well, those are royal kings. Power for them, intoxication, we can understand. But we are also, we, after all, mortal beings, but, whatever little power that we think we have around the people in whatever capacity, like a parent, and if we think as a spouse, or if we think in any upadhi, in any capacity, whatever power we think, and based on that power, whatever expectation that we might have on others, that is more like a madness, and then can make us lose our self-restraint. In other words, that can quickly make us find fault with others because they were supposed to do something, because I am in power in some capacity, right, as a parent or somehow. So that is something to keep in mind, not to lose self-restraint. And the other 3 things beautifully said was, Lord Krishna said, rule your citizens in accordance to the Vedic injunctions. So for us, translating all that for us is, we have already heard about how to be vigilant and be self-restrained, and not be intoxicated with any little power we think we have. And to the devotees around, serving them to the best of our capacity, and remained fixed in vows. That's for the king. For us, remain fixed in our sadhana every day. Sadhana is connecting to the Lord, right? Connecting to the Lord through the kada, through the nama, through the seva, like that. So remaining fixed in sadhana and doing our very best, whatever we can, to the devotees around, while savai manah Krishna padara vindayo, inside, while concentrating our mind upon the Lord. By doing this, then we are giving up bodily consciousness. Yeah. So that's for us also. So in this way, Lord Krishna gave the instructions to the kings and then liberated them, and then got them, arranged servants to bathe and groom them. All that has happened. And then after Jarasandha is killed, his son was put on the throne. And I think his name is Swadamna. Basically, Jarasandha's son was put on the throne. Sadhava. Okay. Sahadva. Sadhva is the son of the Jarasandha. So he was made the king and the captive kings were liberated. Shubham, that is about killing of Jarasandha and liberating the kings and instructing them beautifully. Actually, it is said that the kings followed exactly what Lord Krishna said and went back to Krishna Loka after they left their body. Same thing with Sudama Brahman also later. So that is about Jarasandha. Now, Jarasandha is killed. Yeah. So all the preparations were done for Rajasuya Yajna. All the wealth is brought. All the kings now, they are subordinate to Pandavas because they won over the kings. Rajasuya Yajna is ready. And Yudhishthira Maharaj, he very kindly requests Lord Shri Krishna to please take the seat. That for Agra Puja is the first worship. So Lord Krishna sits on the throne to receive the worship, and everybody is very happy to see that. Sahadeva gets up and establishes the position of Lord Krishna and how he is suitable to receive the Agra Puja, the first worship in Rajasuya Yajna. And everybody applauds to that. Actually, there's no applaud at the time. Everybody bows down their head and then folds their hand, agreeing to what Sahadeva said. And then comes Sishupala. Sishupala, all of a sudden, he got up from his seat. He was very furious, very angry. Yeah. And he says, he calls names to the Lord, and he talks about the Yadu dynasty, how it is a dynasty of curse, and how Krishna, what all he has done were not, kidnapping of Rukmini, Ranachora, all these things. Yeah, how it does not befit a person to receive the worship in Rajasuya Yajna, and how all these Yadus were cursed, and how they left the land that is worshipped by the saints, and then hiding in the waters. In other words, because how they left Mathura and went to Dwaraka. So in this way, Sishupala was blaspheming Krishna one after the other, and everybody in the sabha, in the assembly there, they were very furious. All of them, the kings, Pandavas, and so all of them, they got up from their seat. They took their swords out and they wanted to kill Shishupala, because wherever the blasphemy happens, blasphemy of the Lord or the devotee happens, remember Sati, she said that was in the fourth canto. That was in the, third or fourth canto. Yeah. Sati says that wherever the blasphemy happens, either you go away from there, close the ears, not hear anything about the blasphemy of the Lord or the devotees, go away from there. Or if somebody has the authority, cut the tongue of the person who is blaspheming and kill them. If you don't have an authority to do anything, just go away from there, close your eyes. If you have the authority, then just cut the tongue of the blasphemer, like that. Because, but dear devotees, why is it like that? Such extreme? Cut the tongue of the blasphemer and then kill him. Because blaspheming is something that is done with an evil intention within on another person, and it pollutes the consciousness. Pollutes the consciousness of whoever is witnessing it, quietly or hearing it. And it is going to cause its impression. So it is risky to have that consciousness polluted like that. So either to go away or kill the blasphemer, because you can't let the air to be polluted, consciousness to be polluted like that, and everybody gets affected like that. So if you have the authority, end the life of that person who has that evil intention. Otherwise, go away. That's something about polluting the consciousness. Huh? So blaspheming is are those words with such evil intention inside, conveying information about a devotee objectively with no evil intention, but for the informational sake. That is different. That's not blaspheming. This devotee is like this or like that. They have this qualities. They may be able to do this better, and they may be able to do that better. And this has happened in the past, just to let you know. So information about the devotees as to aid in the seva is different. But negative things about any devotee with an evil intention is blasphemy. Okay, and that is not good for the blasphemer or anybody who is hearing that. So in this way, when Shishupala was blaspheming like that, these kings, including the Pandavas, they were ready to fight. And Lord Krishna, he indicated them to just please stop, not do anything. And then the Lord, after the last 100th blasphemy of Shishupala had come out from his mouth, the Lord released Sudarshan Chakra, which cut the throat of Shishupala. Yeah, cut the throat of Shishupala. As the Lord cut the throat of Shishupala, simultaneously the soul of Shishupala entered into the Lord that was sitting there. And Srimad Bhagavatam describes the soul of Shishupala entered into the Lord as a meteor enters into a planet, actually. Yeah. So that was the comparison. In this way, the soul of Shishupala is merged with the Lord, receiving Brahmasayujya Mukti, merging into the Lord. And we know Shishupala and Dantavakra are none other than Jaya and Vijaya. Okay, so that's why they got this Sayujya Mukti. How come Shishupala, so envious of Krishna? How did he get this liberation? Isn't he a demon? We have heard that before, like the Kamsa. And yeah, when their absorption is so strong, 100% absorption, 100% Krishna conscious, not in a favorable way, not in a way that is recommended, but that was the reason, because they were 100% Krishna conscious, that we have heard before anyway. So in this way, Shishupala's soul enters into the Lord with Sayujya Mukti. Remember, dear devotees, this was the topic that Yudhishthira Maharaj and Narada Muni were discussing as the opening discussion in the 7th canto. Yeah, just FYI. But this is this is how Shishupala was killed. That's the killing of Shishupala. Okay, now Shishupala is killed. Isn't this, we have noticed this, right? In every session, since Lord Krishna came to Madura, and especially after he came to Dwaraka, everywhere where these kings are meeting, even if it is a marriage or a ceremony or Rajasuya Yajna, everywhere, anywhere where the Kshatriyas are meeting, there is some war that is happening, killing is happening, as if it's just a part of their meeting, and then they just go on, move on. And what's the next now? Complete the Rajasuya Yajna. So Shishupala was killed. And after that, the Rajasuya Yajna continued, and worship by different personalities to Lord Krishna has continued. In this way, Rajasuya Yajna was done. And after that, everybody was very happy. with whatever has happened in Rajasuya Yajna, including the killing the blasphemous Shishupala. Everybody was happy and very much satisfied, and they left the place, except one person, Duryodhana. Duryodhana also came to Indraprastha for this Rajasuya Yajna. Yeah. And in Indraprastha, it was said that the palace was so beautiful and mystical at some places, where the floor appeared to be as water. So Duryodhana, when he looked at it, he lifted up his garments just so he doesn't get wet, and then stepped very carefully on what he thought was water, but it was floor. Everybody saw that and laughed at him. Oof, Duryodhana thought, oh man, he got humiliated. And then he realized, oh, so that only looked like water. It wasn't water. So he took a few more steps further and came to next corner. And then the same thing appeared. And this time Duryodhana thought, okay, now I'm not going to be trapped. I know this is not water. And so he nonchalantly just stepped as if it was the floor, but indeed it was water. So he fell into the water. So everybody laughed. Draupadi also laughed. And we know what happened later. That led to the war, Kurukshetra war. So Duryodhana was humiliated there. That's one more instant after Rajasuya Yajna. Okay, now we have heard about Rajasuya Yajna, the killing of Jarasandha, release of the captive kings from Jarasandha. And now, battle between Shalva and Vrishnis. Killing of Shalva, and when we hear Jarasandha, Shishupala, the other one that comes to our mind is Dantavakra. So now happens the killing of Shalva and Dantavakra, of course, some other demons. How did that happen? Yeah, coming to the next topic. These are the killing. Every other slide is killing. This Kshatriyas. So Shalva, what's the story of Shalva? Shalva was a king, and he was a worshipper of Lord Shiva. His austerity was, these demons, they really have great austerities. Shalva austerity was great. He was just eating a fistful of sand for years to please Lord Shiva so he can get a boon from him. And what was the boon? The boon was that he asked for a vehicle which can move based on his will, wherever, anywhere, anytime. So that kind of vehicle. And Lord Shiva gave that vehicle to King Shalva. So Shalva is a friend of Shishupala. He heard that Shishupala was killed in Rajasuya Yajna by Lord Krishna. So he attacked Dwaraka, attacked Vrishnis in Dwaraka. Shalva, great warrior. Pradyumna is in Dwaraka now. While Krishna with his queens came to Dwaraka, Pradyumna is the son of Lord Krishna. He's in Dwaraka. Pradyumna is also a great warrior. So when Shalva came to Dwaraka and offering this fight, Shalva was in this vehicle, almost invisible and can travel anywhere. And Shalva was showering down mystical weapons, illusory weapons. And Pradyumna was strong enough to fight with all those weapons. He did that, and the fight went on. And Shalva's commander-in-chief was Dyuman. Yeah, Dyumana is the right one, not just Dyuman. So Dyumana he fought with Pradyumna, and the battle was fierce. And he really injured Pradyumna badly. And he struck Pradyumna with Gada, with the club. And Pradyumna actually felt unconscious. So what happens was, the charioteer of Pradyumna, Daruka is the charioteer of Lord Krishna. Daruka's son is the charioteer of Pradyumna. And the name of that charioteer, well, so Daruka's son is the charioteer of Pradyumna. So what he does was, since Pradyumna felt unconscious, he quickly brought Pradyumna out of the battlefield. And Pradyumna, when he woke up, he saw himself not in the battlefield, but somewhere else. And he chastises his charioteer and says, "Why did you bring me out? This is an act of coward. Why did you do this to me?" And he chastises, and the charioteer says, "Oh, my lord, the duty of a charioteer is to protect his king. So when you were unconscious, my duty was to protect you, to bring aside. And that's why I brought you aside." So Pradyumna, now that he's conscious again, he goes back to the battlefield and fights with Dyumana and kills him. And the battle is continuing. Now Pradyumna is fighting with Shalva. By this time, Krishna is feeling some inauspicious signs while he was in Indraprastha. Rajasu Yajna is all done. Shishupala was killed, and he was spending some few more months with Pandavas there, but he felt this inauspicious signs. And so he returned to Dwaraka only to see that Shalva is fighting with Vrishnis, and Pradyumna is doing his very best to kill Shalva. Then now Krishna takes over and he kills Shalva. He kills Shalva. Shalva was, again, as we heard, he was pouring down mystical weapons. But what mystic can stand in front of Yogeshwara, the Lord of mystic powers, Krishna? So in this way, Lord Krishna returned from Indraprastha and killed Shalva. Now comes Shishupala is killed. Actually, the Shalva, he was there at the marriage of Rukmini also. And when Krishna was trying to take Rukmini away, kidnap, Krishna actually fought with Shalva and defeated him. That's when he took a vow that he would fight again with Krishna and kill. But this is how Shalva. That's when he started the austerities and then pleased Lord Shiva to get a mystical vehicle. And now he waged the war and he was killed. Shalva was killed by Lord Krishna. This is how Krishna slayed demon Shalva. Now comes the last demon, what that is related to Shishupala and Shalva. That's Dantavakra. You know, Narakasura was related. Narakasura was killed and Dvivida was very angry. Those two. And here, Shishupala, Shalva, Dantavakra. Also Jarasandha, right? Yeah. So Dantavakra was waiting to kill Krishna. So Dantavakra, he came to the battlefield. And it is said that Dantavakra said, "Oh, I am so happy to see you in person, Krishna." Why is he happy? He's thinking, yeah, now I got you here in person. I can kill you now. That's Dantavakra. They are really Krishna conscious. They're really happy that they're having darshan of Krishna, but the reason is different. And the Lord is so merciful. Even if the reason is different, he's giving Saivijya Mukti. So in this way, Dantavakra fought with Krishna. And then Krishna, of course, easily killed Dantavakra. And a spark of light from Dantavakra, the soul of Dantavakra, merged into the body of Krishna, entered into Krishna. That's how he got the Sayujya Mukti. So in this way, Sishupala and Dantavakra, who are Jaya and Vijaya, they got Sayujya Mukti in the second life as Dantavakra and Shishupala. Yeah. And of course, there was one more demon, Vidhuratha, one more. Demon is basically the qualities of Rajoguna and Tamoguna in a king that is against the Lord. It's not that they have some horns and they look horrible. So Vidhuratha is also one of those kings that was against Krishna. And Lord Krishna kills Vidhuratha also. In this way, the killing has happened one after the other, one after the other. Paritranaya sadhunam, vinashaya cha dushkrutam. Really, vinashaya cha dushkrutam. At every step. In Vrindavan, at every step is a dance. Every word is a song. Outside the Vrindavan in Dwaraka, every step is a fight. So in this way, all the killings have happened. Evam yogishwarah Krishno Bhagavan Jagadishwarah Iyate Pashudrishtinam Nirchito Jayatiti Saha. All the killings has happened. Yogishwara Krishna. Now, dear devotees, this is Balarama. Okay? This now Mahabharata, Kurukshetra war is about to happen. Balaram heard that. He didn't like it. He was never for the war. He didn't like it. He decided to go on the pilgrimage. He didn't want to support either of those parties. So he wanted to go on a pilgrimage. And he was doing the pilgrimages. And in one of those places, Roma Harshana was sitting on the Vyasasana and speaking about the Vedas. So Balarama came there. Roma Harshana continued to speak, giving no acknowledgement to Balarama. Balarama became angry. He took a piece, just a blade of grass. With the blade of grass, he killed Roma Harshana. Balarama, their pastimes are really very supernatural. Just pick up a blade of grass and just kill the person giving the katha, Vyasasana. Why like that? Balarama is the Adi Guru, right? So one who is speaking on behalf of Adi Guru on the Vyasasana should have certain qualities. Like Suta Goswami, he mentioned how Shaunak Rishi glorifies Suta Goswami in the first canto, how he is Saumya and Snigdasya. Those qualities should be there. Roma Harshana did not have those qualities. So if somebody is speaking, sitting in a place of authority and does not have these qualities of Saumya and Snigdha. Saumya is simplicity. Snigdha is submissiveness to the authority. Pretty grave words. Saumyatvam and Snigdhatvam. When those qualities are present in the speaker, the simplicity is receiving the descending mercy as such, with no manipulation, speculation. Yeah, that is simplicity. Simplicity comes with purity. Without purity, it's hard to have simplicity. Without great faith in the descending mercy, it's hard to have simplicity. In any case, the speaker should have that simplicity, saumyatvam, and snigdhatvam, subordinates to the Guru Tattva, then the message that needs to be conveyed comes through that person as such without any change. So that those are the qualification of the speaker of the transcendental topics. If those qualities are not there, and if somebody is speaking on the transcendental subject matters, not that the speech will have effect on the audience, but it is possible because they don't have simplicity, there can be change in the message. Adulteration can happen because of the mental speculation if there is no simplicity. And that is not auspicious. That is why Balarama killed Romaharshana. Yeah. Then all the Brahmanas there, they said, oh, Balarama, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I mean, what can we say about it? But we just blessed him. He just sat there after we blessed him to have long life and strong health and keep speaking the Vedas. And here you came and you killed him, Balarama. What about all our blessings that are given to him? They are going in vain. How can that happen? So please see that our blessings also not go in vain. Then Balarama thinks, oh, okay. Well, he's killed now, but his son, Suta, will be made, will sit on the Vyasasana, and he will be the authority in speaking about the Puranas. Yeah. So in this way, all your blessings
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Can someone call Mataji? It seems we lost her.
Yes, she may not realize that she's
Yeah,
dropped
she may
out.
not
Yeah.
realize. Can you
Yeah.
call her?
Mhm.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Let me call.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Nivari Chaitanya Prabhuji, could you please make me host?
Sure, Prabhu.